Hello, welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. This is the aftermatch reaction from England 3, Republic of Ireland nil. I suppose the key thing to look at here is obviously the players that we're missing. We're missing so many players that would probably get into the first team, but we don't know what exactly Stephen Kenny's first team is at the moment. But in regards to players that you would think would feature, Aaron Connolly, Callum Robinson, James McCarthy, Seamus Coleman, just to name a few. Um, and if you kind of look at the way he started the lineup with Cyrus Christie at right full, you'd imagine Seamus Coleman would have started right full, but ultimately, I think that hamstring injury that he's picked up during the season has been aggravated again. So, unfortunately, he is out. I don't know until when, but he is out. And then obviously, Connolly got injured as well, hamstring injury too. COVID for Callum Robinson and family reasons for James McCarthy, and I'm sure there's other players there that I'm just not listing off the top of my head. But just the lineup: Darren Randolph and goal, which you would have expected. It was Cyrus Christie right full, Duffy and Egan at centre back, and then at left back Matt Doherty, and then in midfield you had Howard, Hendrick, and Alan Brown. And then up front, which was I suppose the one we were kind of all confused about, was the front three of O'Dowd on the left, Adam Ida up front, and Daryl Horgan on the right. I think a lot of people were surprised that James McLean didn't get a start in this game. Thought it was tailor made for someone like him to come in. But I think, look, we tried to stick to the game plan that we've been doing under Stephen Kenny. I thought we were quite defensive and we held our shape quite well. We were trying to play out from the back, and you could see them pressing us right up to our keeper. And a couple of times nearly got our keeper as well. Darren got away with a few tonight, I think, with the Cruyff turns in the box and stuff like that. My heart was in my mouth a few times watching. But look, I think we stuck to our task, but I just think England actually at the moment are just a really, really good team, and they have probably two, maybe three players for every position at the minute. And I think Richie Sadlier made a great point on commentary, is the fact that Calvert Lewin is the joint top scorer in the Premier League, and if all England's players are fit, he doesn't even get in the team. So I think that shows their strength and depth. I think this is a game that we probably didn't really need to play, but we did play, and I understand why, and I think it's good to test ourselves against the best. But um, it was a tale of we were chasing Jack Grealish around the pitch a lot of the time, which was frustrating as well because obviously we wanted one of our players to get tied to him. I thought a couple of times he was let do what he liked, and early on there was a couple of scares, but nothing really to to write home about. Then they get the goal, set piece, and they get the goal. Then Harry Maguire getting one over Shane Duffy, who you on a normal day that would be Shane Duffy's bread and butter, but I just think he's just not in a good period of form at the moment, and maybe on another day he prevents that from going in. But again, it's one of those. Harry Maguire does score a lot of those types of goals, and it's just something we have to accept. Again, I just thought England just looked that much sharper. You could tell that their players actually play for their clubs more often than not. A lot of our players aren't playing first team football, or they're on the bench at their clubs and get minutes here and there, but they're not playing regularly week in week out. And it showed tonight. I think even with our keeper, Connor Howard in midfield as well. I just think it showed that we were kind of lacking in comparison to them. And truth be told, if you take away the history between the nations and stuff like that, you have to admit England are a good side, and I think they showed it tonight. I think they really are a good side, and I think if you take Grealish out of the equation tonight, I don't think anyone really had a real ill feeling towards England as a football team. Obviously, as a nation, there's that Ireland England thing, but what I mean is I don't think anybody was really looking at it. After they scored one. You were thinking, oh no, here the floodgates are going to open. And then obviously Sancho gets the goal as well. Poor defending. I thought Cyrus Christie, for me, I think he should be over there trying to block that. But I think that shows why he's not our first choice right back. And he's probably third, probably fourth after Dara O'Shea's performance tonight. But just looking at it, obviously with Sancho getting the second goal, you're thinking, oh, please, look, let's just last until half time. They had a couple of chances. We just weren't creating anything. Ida was left isolated the whole time up front. Nobody was getting up near him, and he was just, I felt sorry for him. He was just chasing lost causes the whole time, and it was just unfortunate for him. A couple of times in the first half, Daryl Horgan tried to whip a couple of balls in and looked good in the first maybe 5-10 minutes, and then just fizzled out completely. I think O'Dowda done nothing. I think constantly does nothing for us. I really don't understand what he brings to this Irish team. He keeps on starting, but it doesn't affect games. Like, he doesn't get assists, he doesn't get goals. The last time I remember making any sort of contribution was the game against Poland where he set up Aidan O'Brien. That's going back to when Martin O'Neill was manager. So he's not really done a whole lot for me that warrants a starting place. I would have much rather having McLean in there, if I'm being perfectly honest. But it's just the way it is. Look, I think this game is one of those games where it probably didn't need to be played, and we could have spared ourselves a 3-0 loss. Obviously, coming into to the second half, then we might as well talk about their third goal, the penalty, which again was ridiculous by Cyrus Christie. Just no need, absolutely lazy defending. No need. He takes down Saka, and really just didn't need to do it. He could have stayed with his man and guided him down the line and stopped the cross getting in. But as I said, he decides to clip him, goes down for a penalty. Dominic Calvert-Lewin steps up and sticks it in the top corner. I think it was worth noting. Obviously, John Egan went off early. Darragh O'Shea came in and done really well at centre back, and tried to zip the ball around well. But again, our midfielders just, when they get the ball, it's just sideways, backwards. I thought Matt Doherty was trying to make things happen from left back and probably was our best player throughout the game. I think so anyway. I know he got man of the match from Kenny Cunningham as well, so I think he thought the same as me, that Matt Doherty actually tried to make things happen, and he defended quite well at left back as well. I thought he was winning headers and he was getting close to his man, but as well trying to make things happen from left back. But you could see him visibly frustrated by the lack of quality probably in front of him. And I think if you look at the two squads and the final result, it's probably a fair reflection on the game. I think we didn't have a shot till the 72nd minute. Alan Brown hits it straight at the keeper like a pass back. To Henderson and goal, went out for a corner then, and then Ronan Curtis got a shot off from distance after a good play by Jason Malumbi, and then he kind of made the chance himself, Curtis, and he forced a save out of Henderson, but it wasn't really troubling him. And other than that, we were quite quiet. As I said, Adam Eden was quite isolated, and look, I don't want to go into it too much and start being harsh on players, because we were missing a lot of players. Now, I think it's just one of those, we just have to accept it and move on. There's bigger games to play now with Wales and Bulgaria. We need to avoid relegation in the Nations League, and that's more important for me right now. I don't want to be dwelling on the fact that, we didn't beat England. England are a really good football nation right now, and they are far ahead of us in terms of their development of their squad and their players, and they're always going to have a better pool of players. It's just a matter of what team turns up on the night. And tonight we had basically our reserves out tonight, I would say. A lot of players were missing that would be in our first team. So I'm not going to buy too much into it, and I'm not going to get too annoyed or frustrated about it, which I know a lot of fans will, and I appreciate that, and you're entitled to your opinion. So I think just leaving it on that note, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe as well. We just reached 9,000 subscribers, and don't forget to like the video as well. I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.